Hello and welcome to Module 7.4, Email Marketing Secrets, Tactics for Above Average Email Marketing. In this module, I'll be showing you the psychology of email writing and how you should structure your emails in a way that will get more opens and more click-throughs, resulting in more sales for your business. In this module, you'll discover the two most important numbers you need to track when it comes to email: subject lines and previews, generating curiosity with headlines to increase your open rates, using psychology to move your readers to action, and body copy, design, and formatting. So by now you should have looked at the copywriting section in Cakebox Academy, where you learned about writing powerful headlines and copy that moves your readers to action. So now it's time to brush up on your copywriting skills once again, because successful email marketing relies heavily on your ability to persuade people with the written word. In addition to that, we'll be looking at how simple psychology hacks and formatting tweaks can increase the overall success of your email in terms of getting people to read them and getting people to take action. The numbers don't lie. The most important numbers when it comes to email marketing isn't how many subscribers you have, it's actually how many people open your emails and how many people click or follow your call to action. Respectively, these are called your open rates and your click-through rates. Starting with getting more opens, I'll be revealing the secrets of how to craft emails that virtually jump out of the inbox, waiting to be seen every single time. So how do you calculate your open rate? Your open rate is a measure of how many people on an email list open a particular email. It's usually expressed as a percentage, and we calculate it as follows: number of opens divided by the number of emails delivered times by 100 equals your open rate. So a 20% open rate would mean that out of every 10 emails delivered to the inbox, 2 were actually opened. Now your click-through rate percentage is the number of recipients that have clicked on any link in your email message divided by the number of emails opened. Now your click rate matters because if you know your click rate and your open rate, you can actually predict your income and actually optimize your email campaigns to get you closer to your business objectives. Now the more people you can get to open your emails, the more clicks, the more traffic you'll get to your offer, and the more profit you'll be able to make. So let's look at some tactics you can use to increase your open rates and your click-through rates. So we're going to be looking at subject lines and previews. Your readers are scanning your emails before they even read them. Fact. When it comes to email marketing, the subject lines and the previews determine whether or not your email is a hit or a flop. The subject line is single-handedly the most important part of any email. Your email could be the best thing since sliced bread, but if the subject line doesn't grab attention, then the likelihood of the email being opened is a lot less. Whenever you send an email, the email app or dashboard will display around 40 characters for the subject headline and between 40 and 50 characters for the preview. So the challenge for you as a marketer is to get your email past the screening process and opened. You'll want to grab the attention with a smart and emotionally charged subject line and leave out the most important details from the first line of the email, which shows up in the preview. There's an important reason for this, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in the module with some examples. The preview section inside the email application allows people to get the gist of what's inside the email, so don't put the juicy bits in there. Usually your email app or inbox dashboard will display the contents of the first line of the email. Most people will read the preview before deciding if they'll open the email there and then. So the key here is not to give everything away, and if you do, they'll just assume that they know what your email is all about and perhaps decide not to open it straight away. So this is lettercount.com. You can use this website to check your subject lines and the first few lines of your emails to make sure that you are not exceeding the 40 to 50 character limit. So make sure you keep your juicy bits or the greater details outside of this, and use the first part of your email to grab attention and pique curiosity. So you can use this tool. It's a free tool. Just go to the website lettercount.com and you can make sure that you keep You can keep tabs on how many words you have that kind of give away what your email is about. Let's talk about the pattern interrupt technique. Use the space in the subject line of the email to ask a question. Now, by asking a question, psychologically, it creates a gap that must be closed. In psychology, this is called a pattern interrupt and plays on the brain's inability to resist unanswered questions. So let me show you an example of an email I received recently. I just had to open it. It wasn't that important, but because of the way it was written, I couldn't really, I couldn't resist it. So if you look at this email here, it says, "It's happening. Fancy it? Hey there, you know that I only really send you ... So I'm thinking, I wonder what's inside the email. So I couldn't resist opening it. And there's the lesson there. There's the key takeaway. Leave the juicy bits out of the first few words of the email. So that preview section of the email app, whether it's your Gmail or Yahoo or Outlook, the preview section, don't put the best details in there. Use that to generate curiosity. And because I knew who the email was from and I desperately wanted to know what was happening, I opened the email. And the best signal you can get from your audience is an open. And the reason for that is because an open indicates interest. And with that, there's a window of opportunity that you can take advantage to sell your product or your services. First, let's look at the 3 most important ingredients of an effective email subject line. So let's start with curiosity. When it comes to creating curiosity in a subject line, it's all in the details, or should I say lack of. Curiosity comes from having only partial knowledge. When you get someone's attention with a question or a thought-provoking statement without coming to a conclusion or leaving the discussion open, naturally the brain will try and figure out the answer. Psychologically, it's just the way we're wired as human beings. So when you stimulate curiosity with your subject line by leaving out the main details, your reader will find it almost impossible to not open your email. Many people's belief system is that you have to work hard to earn a lot of money. So if you read a headline that said, "Triple your yearly salary by doing little to no extra work," it would challenge your belief that a higher salary is related to working harder, and in the back of your mind, you'll be asking the question, how is that even possible? If you knew the answer to that question was inside the email, would you be more likely to open it? In NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, there's a technique called a pattern interrupt, where you say something that interrupts their normal chain of thought or challenge their belief system. And that's basically one of the tactics you can use in your email marketing. Words and phrases that spark curiosity include surprising, amazing, new, different, unusual, odd, special, secret, thrilling, helpful, useful, weird, strange, exciting, insider, and here's how. Another one, if you I mentioned new. When you put new in the subject line, that really works well. And if you use brand new as well, if you can say something is brand new, you need to be genuine about it as well. You can't just say something's brand new even if it's not. But if you say brand new, it definitely sparks curiosity because everyone wants to know what's new, what's the next thing. So when you use words like this and withhold the finer details that your reader will anticipate, you'll see your open rates go through the roof. So let's talk relevance. The second important ingredient of an effective subject headline is relevance. Of course, you're going to write emails that are relevant to your audience, but we're talking about a deeper type of relevance where your email becomes a part of the conversation your readers are already having with their friends, colleagues, and family, and more importantly, the internal conversation they're having within. Mention things in your headline that are timely, playing on current affairs. For instance, something that's trending at the moment or a problem you know your audience has. Now, if you run a wedding stationery business, you could write a headline like, "It's every bride's worst nightmare." For a bride who's about to get married, this will probably stir up emotions of anxiety and of course curiosity, because she'll most likely want to know, what is every bride's worst nightmare? What happened? Could it happen to me? Is it what I think it is? And more importantly, its subtle relevancy lies in the emotion it creates, as preparing to get married for most people is a time of stress anxiety, and fear. So let's say you're an independent fashion or apparel label for women. You could write a headline similar to this: 7 ways to look sexy with a white tee this summer. Here's a short, punchy headline that makes a promise of being sexy, which is an unspoken goal for many. And numbers in headlines are proven to be extremely effective, which also helps to stir a little curiosity as well. After all, how many ways could there possibly be to wear a t-shirt? So let's talk about scarcity. The fear of missing out is a powerful emotion. When you write a subject line with a promise of something desirable, but with a deadline or a hint of scarcity, you can be sure that if your readers are looking for what you're offering and it's important to them, they'll move extremely quickly for the fear of missing out on a great deal. Use words and phrases such as limited, exclusive, time sensitive, hurry, ending soon, limited stock, limited tickets, don't miss out, for example, for maximum effect. So now we've looked at the 3 most important ingredients to an effective subject line. Let's look at how to structure your emails so that when they arrive in your subscribers' inboxes, they just have to open it to find out more. So we're going to talk about body copy, design, and formatting. Your body copy should grab your readers by the eyeballs and glue them to the screen, where each sentence builds up anticipation for the next. It should be easy to follow with short, punchy sentences that guide the reader from one part of the story to the next. You should always try to make your emails personal, and always remember, although your emails get broadcasted to all of the subscribers in your list at once, you should write as if you're writing to one person. If you've captured your subscribers' names in your opt-in forms, make use of the personalization features in your autoresponder to call your reader by their first name, but be careful not to overdo it and use it sparingly. Don't get carried away with design. You're probably thinking, what? This guy is a graphic designer and he's saying not to get carried away with design. But there's a perfectly good reason for this. When it comes to email marketing, in my opinion, perfectly designed and branded emails are associated with one thing: a company trying to sell you something. So unless you want to come across that way, then that's fine. But if you don't want to be that person, and you're a small business owner and you want to build relationships with people, and you don't want to come across as the average email newsletter that's just selling promotions and telling people about discount offers and stuff like that, and you want to come across as a trusted friend and advisor, not someone whose only mission is just to make a quick buck, then you've got to make your emails come across as if it's personal. Now, the reason for this, increasingly, consumers have actually evolved to tune out sales messages. So while the bigger brands may be used to doing things that way, using lots of pretty images and having it formatted in a way where it basically looks like you're on a website, you've got to keep your email marketing design and formatting as simple as possible. And another benefit of that, it not only saves you time, but ensures that your emails are received better. So ask yourself this question: do you want to be seen as a friend and trusted advisor, or do you want to be seen as the people in the inbox selling something? If you're going to use images in your emails, keep them really simple, and remember, less is more. When it comes to formatting, break up your paragraphs adequately, keeping each sentence no longer than 2 to 3 lines. The idea is to build a rhythm that guides the reader's eyes from one line to the next, leading them to your call to action. It also makes the email easier to read and less intimidating. Time is at a premium and people are easily distracted. If an email looks too long to read, it's not going to get read, and it will quickly be relegated to the "I'll read that later" pile. And guess what? Later rarely ever comes. Let's talk about the call to action. You should always have a clear call to action in your emails, and this should be placed at least twice inside your email. Now, the reason for this is because people tend to scan read. By including your call to action in your email multiple times, you'll instantly improve your click-through rate, which massively increases the chances of the reader taking action and clicking on the link inside your email. That would probably lead back to your product page, your booking page, or wherever you want them to go to complete the transaction. So here are some examples of emails with the call to action. And the thing is, with a highly visual email, let's say you wanted to use a lot of visuals in your emails, lots of pictures and stuff like that, you'd only need to include your call to action once if that's the case. But generally, if you're using text-based emails, you should always include it at least 2 times inside the body copy. So here's a hot tip. If you really want to get good at email marketing, keep a swipe file of emails from brands you respect in a similar niche to you. So if there are any brands in your industry that you think are using email marketing really well, or even if you don't know of any, you should try and sign up to their email list to see what kind of goes on in their inboxes, what are they sending to their customers, and look at the headlines. Look to see what grabs your attention, what makes you want to take action, and just keep swipe files of those emails so you can modify or reverse engineer what they're doing and see if it works for your business. So now that you've learned about the anatomy of a powerful email, which includes the psychology of email writing and how to structure your emails for success, with that being said, let's quickly recap. Make sure your subject line is 40 characters or less using a tool like lettercounter.com, which is free. Keep major details of the email out of the first line of the email, which shows up in the preview section. Stimulate curiosity about what's inside the email. With your subject line, remember just to drop a few crumbs of detail and keep the main info for inside the email body copy. Remember the 3 ingredients of an effective email subject line: curiosity, relevance, and scarcity. Format your emails, keeping sentences short and punchy with no more than 3 lines per sentence. Don't overdo it with design templates and images. Keep your email simple and easy to read. You don't want to come across overly promotional. And have at least 2 places where your call to action can be seen and clicked on. That's it for this module. I hope you gained some valuable knowledge about how you can start getting more opens and clicks inside your email campaigns. Make sure you check out the resources below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next module. Bye for now.